Welcome to Oops, All Apocalypses, a show where we explore the collapse of society by playing fun tabletop role-playing games. I'm your host, Stu Masterson, and I'm joined by two of the least edible Easter candies.
Hey everybody, it's Brady Peep McDonough.
You piece of trash.
He's right, and he got the easy one.
Hell yeah.
Peeps are amazing.
Nah, peeps are, you can eat one peep and then the rest are stale by the time you finish eating that one peep.
I'm finally on Brady's side for one of these.
They're coated in disgusting sugar.
Peeps are incredible. I will eat my weight.
Peeps are
in
gross.
Peeps.
They're not even real marshmallows.
I don't care.
What is a real marshmallow?
But like, okay, but Jacob, would you like them stale? Like when they're rock solid?
I'm eating them stale many a times. They become stale within like 4 hours of opening the package. So
That's what I mean.
no, I
And you eat one and you're like, the textures, it's like eating a magic eraser.
wrong choice all around.
You either eat the entire thing of peeps or you eat one peep and then you vomit.
And I am those two large jelly beans that are mostly licorice flavored.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's always so many of them. It's like, why? It's too big. It's a jelly bean, but it's just like that awkward, like, I don't want this.
Jacob, you got to say your name too.
No, I never say my name. I always just say I'm the thing. Because you go, I'm Peep. I play book. I do whatever, and I'm always like, I'm the two large licorice flavored gummy beans.
I am medium peep.
But what if this is someone's first episode of our podcast?
Well, then they chose the wrong episode, considering we are almost at the climax of the series.
But this is going to be our best one ever. Maybe.
I'm Brady Peep McD, and I play Book McCready, the Bloodhound Brain Picker.
And I'm the two large jelly bean, and I play Ocean, a gentle giant who's probably just made the biggest mistake of his life. What is he thinking? What's he thinking going back?
Just about going back to the tower.
Yeah.
After you got out and escaped and were free
Just
and
when I
knew.
thought I was out, I'm right back in.
Stu, what was the other inedible Easter candy you had in mind?
Ooh, those are definitely two of the biggest ones out there. I think you guys did a wonderful job covering the basis of inedible Easter candies. A large chocolate bunny is impossible to eat. You have to like gnaw on it.
Yeah. If it's a solid one. So they make hollow ones too.
I've seen a large solid chocolate egg that was impossible to fit in your mouth. So
Yeah,
you had
you
to
can.
gnaw on it like a teething dog and get shavings off, which is disgusting after about
that's
3 or
funny.
4 seconds.
Especially because like it's too big for you to eat in one sitting, so you have to go back to it, and then you can see where like your mouth heat melted some of the chocolate, and now it's re-solidified,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
like, I'm
pretty
just
gross.
re-eating my saliva chocolate.
I hope no one's eating right now while listening to this. I know
Yum.
two of my co-hosts are, but
I'm not eating right now.
He has a bag of 2 big jelly beans in his pocket.
both of my co-hosts sneak little bites like a dog grabbing like a chicken tender off the counter. They have
Sometimes,
this little guilty look in their eye.
yeah, I had a little carton. That's the wrong word of Altoid mints, and sometimes we're recording, and I'm like, no one can smell my breath right now, but I'm just gonna pop a mint.
No, that sonically changes all of your sounds, messes up all my levels, all my little cool algorithms I have built to make you sound better. All ruined because of that one little Altoid.
It probably does, to be honest.
I'm drinking a beer now, so my voice is gonna sound sonorous and beautiful.
This week we have a BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse brought to us straight from me. Is that right?
Ooh.
Is it my turn?
Who even knows anymore?
What are Book and Ocean's biggest pet peeves?
Oh, that's decent.
That's a good one.
It's that thing that just grinds their gears a little bit, even though it just shouldn't. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, I got it. Book's biggest pet peeve is when he asks someone a question and they don't answer it. Like if he just has sometimes you're talking with someone and they just ignore the fact that you asked them a question and carry on in the conversation, or like you shoot someone an email and you ask them a question and they respond to your email but they don't answer your question.
I would see him not liking that too, because he's asking a question for a very intentional reason. I think I do that a lot at work, but I don't think I do it in the most annoying way. I do it in like business calls when someone asks a question that I don't know the answer to. So I just start talking for like 7 minutes about kind of tangentially related stuff and then hope it covers what they want.
I've never had that issue with you at work, or if I do, I just keep asking you the question until you answer it. Like you okay, no. Here's the thing. You won't respond. Like if I ask you, I'll shoot you an IM and I'll ask you a question, you just won't respond. You won't respond and then not answer it.
That's true.
It's almost better that way, isn't it?
No, it's way better. I much prefer not getting any response than getting a response that doesn't answer the question.
Ocean?
I think Ocean's pet peeve is chewing gum. People like smacking their gum. I don't think Ocean likes it. I think Ocean's a man who likes his silence and his quiet and his like zen, like, you know, he's out doing his own thing. He doesn't want any like background noise, and somebody's incessant.
I'm editing out any of the sounds you're making right now because people hate that sound. So
The incessant chewing probably just gets on him because he's a stoic guy who doesn't like superfluous noise. So I can just see that grating his gears.
is that also something that you feel, Jacob?
I don't mind it, honestly. I don't like when people snap their gum.
Like the poppy thing?
Yeah, that kind of kills me a little bit. That one always like sends a little shiver. But chewing gum in general, it's fine.
Yeah, I've been trained out of being averse to that by having a few previous roommates who had the absolute worst mouth sounds of all time and having to eat a lot of meals with them. So it eventually was just like, well, this is my life now.
Just gotta accept it. My not immediate family, but my grandpa and aunts and uncles and cousins, they're all from Podunk, middle of nowhere, and all of them chew with their mouth open. Almost every single one of them. That kills me. So I grew up with that, and I'm still bothered by it.
I don't have any pet peeves. Next question.
Oh, you cheater.
I am really bad at identifying my own pet peeves because I'm like a water off a frog's back. That's the phrase, right?
I think it's scorpion on a frog's back, is it?
That's right. Scorpion on a duck's back. That's what I'm like. So
And
even if stuff
there's
does
a
bother me,
fox and a bag of rice involved.
don't bring that up.
PTSD.
I ruined Jacob's game by refusing to let go of a joke.
Joke ran so hard. I think the chicken actually got you guys out of the dungeon by the end too.
I'm in one of Jacob's games he's running, and for no reason, we were like having a difficult problem that was like, hey, we have to break ourselves up to get across this difficult passage. And I introduced a fox and a hen and a bag of grain into it to make it more complicated.
You introduced the bag of grain and the chicken because we already have a fox in the party.
Yes, we already had a party fox. So I was like, this is going to make everything so much harder. And then 3 sessions later, I'm still talking about, wait, got to grab the bag of grain and don't leave the chicken behind. But I thought about this for a long time since we messed this up, and I had like 3 weeks to think about it. I think I have 2 main pet peeves. One, Brady reminded me of it while we were playing by performing it, and it's people who roll dice in a way that I consider stupid. Is definitely a pet peeve, and that's something that comes up repeatedly a lot because I run a lot of like D&D games, and it's one of those things you don't want to tell people like not to do it, like, hey, you're rolling bad, so you can just be like, hey, try to keep your dice on the table and stuff like that. But I don't like when people just drop them delicately, you know, even if they give them a good shake and then they're just kind of like bloop, especially from high distances. It weirds me out, and there's not a good reason for it. That's why it's a pet peeve. I'm not insulting you, Brady.
So you don't want the dice to fall off the table, but you do want someone to cast the dice with forward momentum. You do understand that those things are in direct opposition of each other.
They're not,
right?
if you know what to do. If you've ever seen someone roll a dice in a casino or whatnot,
I'm with
it's
you.
just
There
one.
is
In a casino,
good
you have
form.
a long ass table with walls.
There is good form when rolling dice. I'm with you. There's like a right satisfying way. Like shit. Like, look, this right here, this is the peak way.
That's wonderful. Wonderful dice roll. There's no chance of those flying off the table, although you have dropped your dice before.
Yeah, I don't. You gave that a lot of backspin.
Yeah, that's you gotta give it some meat to the throw, right?
Gotta have backspin. Definitely. So yeah, I hate both ways. I guess maybe that's what I should say, Brady. I hate the way where people are haphazard with their dice in a way that makes them prone to go all over the place, or if they like aggressively roll them and it goes flying. Also don't like that. But I don't like when there's like these weird intermediate steps and it kind of feels like someone's just like dropping them or placing them, when people like shake it and then like place them on the table. I know it's still like random, but it's just like, what are you doing? My other main pet peeve is bad sound effects in music. It drives me crazy. And I don't have a ton of examples, but I have a couple. The first thing that actually came to mind was children singing in songs, because I really don't like that when they just throw children choruses into songs.
Like, you don't always get what you want.
Yeah. Don't enjoy it. Don't like it in pretty much any song. The only song I like it in is DANCE by Justice. That's the only good
That's
one.
a
But
good
it's like
one.
very Jackson 5y. So Jackson 5 is also fine. They are good, but they are literally just children singing. So that's different. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not like, hey, Hanson sucks. Hanson's dope as fuck. But what I hate worse than that, I realized, because I couldn't think of many examples of that. I was like, I know I don't like this, but I don't know any songs that this really fits well where it's really bad. So I'm going to go with bad sound effects. And the one that I complain about the most, probably not my least favorite, is in Stand by Eminem. The stupid scribbling sound in the background that's supposed to be, oh, this is Stan writing right now, drives me up a fucking wall constantly. And I bet you didn't even know it was there, and now you're going to hear it.
I never even noticed that, to be honest. Yeah, hear the rain.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm wearing like pretty decent headphones, like, you know, that have like really good, nice sound quality. And that just in this cup was just a wow, that's terrible. That's bad.
Poor
I
quality.
didn't even notice
It's
it.
loud. It's not to the beat at all. Like, it's the same sound repeating constantly, but offbeat. It's absolutely infuriating to me.
Stupid, isn't it about the beats that you don't beat?
Yeah, and he should have left that beat out. Your comment actually made me think of my second favorite example. Gambino released a song called R.I.P. that was like, he specifically crafted it to be my favorite song ever. It has him, who I'm a big fan of. It's samples Kavinsky, Night Call, which I love Kavinsky, and it has Bun B on it, one of the rappers from UGK, which I loved growing up. So I was like, this song is perfect for me. All the verses are dope. Super love the song. He does this really weird thing I think most people would hate, but I actually like with the Kavinsky song, where he does exactly what you're talking about. He cuts out the sample and beats in a really choppy, inconsistent, weird way, but I love it. But then he also does this dumbass sound effect that's like every once in a while. It fucking drives me crazy.
Yeah, I can see that being terrible.
You listed like 10 pet peeves.
Sounds and Brady rolling dice.
Dice rolling, kids in music, pencil scratching in music.
Pencil scratching music, yeah. Any other songs that do it besides that one, I'm sure I'll hate just as much.
Can I ask an embarrassing question?
Yes.
When you said Gambino, did you mean like childish Gambino? Like
Sorry, I'm familiar enough. I just cut out the childish part of his name. I don't want to demean him.
you're on a second name basis with him? Nice. I think that's the first time I've made you both laugh at the same time. Like, I've made either of you laugh individually, but I think that's the first time you both laughed.
Okay, I think that went on long enough, so let's get back to the action. Previously, you guys did a whole bunch of preparation getting ready for your final assault on the tower. And by preparation, I also mean trying to solve a bunch of problems that were rocketing towards you simultaneously. But you came up with a plan. The quick version of your plan is for you and Ocean to infiltrate the tower, with Ocean not necessarily hiding his identity, hoping that his recognition will give some reasons for people to want to talk to him, because they've been trying to get him back for a long time now. While pretty much all of your friends who are have fighting qualities are in the sewers underneath the tower and have set up some depth charges, or will set up some depth charges, to be able to blow key foundation from the bottom of the tower upon your request, or upon the unleashing of an ocean of water into Subtropolis by the door opening before you guys are ready. Does that all sound right?
Yeah, I think that sounds about as right as it can be.
Yeah. And at the very end of last episode, you looked over at the tower, and Ocean felt a deep, deep sense of much death surrounding the tower.
Nothing good heading our way.
So now someone has to die at least. Okay, so I'm going to say it's the morning of the day you're leaving. You know you can get there easily within a half a day. It's not that many hours from Hamlet opening. And you get two pieces of news from two different people. First, Book, you are woken up in the morning by some loud knocking on your door. It's like very loud, louder than most human non-robot hands would be able to knock. You think it's Vesuvius.
Okay. I was putting that together. Book rolls off of his couch and stumbles to the door, cracks it open. Is it Vesuvius?
It is. Good intuition there.
Cool.
You figured that one out.
Hey, Vesuvius.
Hey, good morning, Book. I was told to come wrangle you up. Apparently, there is a new advertisement put out by the tower that is a little more nefarious than the last one we saw, and we thought that you should see it. You want me to go wrangle Ocean up to? Meet at wherever the hell the TV is?
Yeah, I still have the one here, so we can use mine.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, pop that bad boy on. It's actually 2 channels above where it like automatically turned all of them to that one time, to play the advertisement, probably where you're at now. Okay, I'll be back.
Thanks.
Star wipe. Ocean, you're there too. You look sleepy though. What are your sleep? You just wear your normal clothes when you sleep, right?
I suspect the only difference is that he puts his leg pads and arm pads and everything on when he's awake. It takes it off when he sleeps, so he's pretty disheveled.
You sleep with your boots on?
No, he takes his boots off.
Okay, then what do your cool house slippers look like?
Like stained and really gross looking pairs of pink bunny slippers that he found probably while scavenging one day. But he was like, these are comfortable, and so he kept them around.
Can I add a bit of color?
You already said pink.
Can it be one pink bunny slipper and like one UGG boot?
That's a better idea. You're always better ideas than me.
So you flip the channel, and this other commercial is not a commercial. It says breaking news in giant red letters. And you see Wolf Blitzer sitting at a desk. And I don't know Wolf Blitzer's voice, but he says, breaking news. It seems like the Boxcar children have basically sealed themselves up in their main defense factory, leaving them overexposed on any of their major fronts. And there's like a little map that zooms out and shows the like outskirts of the baffles. And it looks very similar to the map you saw in one of the war rooms where you noticed they were like maintaining fronts against like a bunch of different enemies of some type. You didn't get any details under who they are, but Wolf Blitzer continues and he goes, seems like it'd be a great time for offenses against the Boxcar children, as it'll take them a long time to resupply. So this newscaster advice is just start blowing shit up. And then it just loops again. There's another breaking news, and that goes on. It's just looping constantly.
Hey, Stu, so Book sees this and immediately thinks of like the message that his orb sent.
Yes.
It said, when it said flood everything, was I getting the vibe that it meant like flood Subtropolis, or like abandon the redirect plan and just flood everything?
It was not very clear, I will certainly say. It was mostly just trying to get the impression that you need to not worry and flood at all, is what it wanted you to do. It was thought the destruction would be nice and cleansing.
Interesting. Okay.
Then, last little bit of news you get before you leave. Oh, to make it super clear too. So sorry, that was because of your beginning of session move, Ocean. You sense that there has been blood spilled all around the baffles, and it has not yet cooled. There is this renewed push against all of the Boxcar children and all of these areas. And many people are dying on both sides. It's not like there's just this like giant slaughter and people are pounding at the gates of the Boxcar children, but there has been an amp up of any of the conflicts they're trying to manage. It would not be a great time to be in charge of their leadership.
Whoa.
Hey, Ocean, do you think that we should ask Vesuvius to go help out the Boxcar children? He's in a giant war suit.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of did this to him, didn't we?
I mean, more me than you.
I think we should. If we send him down, then we kind of lose a pretty important force in our fight, but...
Vesuvius, how are things going with connecting the water redirect tunnel to the sewers?
It seems like we're in an okay position. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage. We don't have just like a nice little flow of water, but we think, based on the scans we were able to get and what we've set up to divert it, a lot of the water is going to make it to Subtropolis. And we've been working on those tunnels underneath the tower. It's looking good, but not going to lie. This isn't me trying to get out of helping the Boxcar children. I think that makes sense. Like you did, you're supposed to be their protector. I think it'd look great for you and me if I fly in there, save a bunch of lives, that sort of thing would be great. But I was kind of expected to be a crucial part of Operation Bring Down the Corner of the Foundation. But I could be replaced by a bunch of extra explosives and things like that. It just may be a little less controlled.
Well, how about this? You go down there, and if the fighting gets tough, if it gets to the point where you feel like you can leave, come back and join in the plan. But until then, I think we'll have to make do with some extra explosives.
That sounds good. I'll only come back if it's very dramatic. And he holds out both of his fists for 2 fist bumps, one from each of you. A total of 2.
I punch his
Ocean
hand.
gives him his fist probably like dwarfs both of our fists.
Yeah, it really hurts when you punch his hand because he is metal. But then he turns it into a thumbs up and he goes, "See you when I see you."
Good luck, Vesuvius.
Literally flies out of the room.
Stay safe.
And then you hear someone go, "Ah!" Oh God, I just had to dodge a Vesuvius. And Randy Candy walks in and he goes, "There's some new shit on the camera if you want to see it before you head out. I know you don't got a lot of time, but I think it's worth looking at."
Let's take a look.
Is it good news for once?
It's news. It's not bad news. How about that? Is that great?
Okay. We've had some bad news back to back here.
He pops open the laptop and the first thing, you see the camera that you saw before, and it definitely looks a little different. Any of the sorts of clues or hints or ideas from before, nothing like counteracts that. But you see there are some chairs set up and there are already a couple people who are sitting in them that look like just random mass wastelander type people. No one you recognize. So as you're looking at it, you can't really tell why Randy Candy thinks this is different. But then he goes, "There's something as it's hooked up to the network. It seems like we have access to do this picture-in-picture command." And he goes and pulls up a little thing and a little tiny window pops up. And he's like, "This is connected to like uncountable sources. It just keeps going." And he's just holding down a button and it's just flashing between a bunch of different cameras as he's going on.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, there's like thousands and he's like, just keeps pushing it and pushing it. Give me a read a sitch roll.
Both of us are just...
The better one and the other one can help if they want to.
9 + 3 is 12.
Oh, no need to help.
Ask me 3 questions to frame it a little better. You got a lot more information on the inside of the tower, but it's in pretty much the least useful form of presenting that information to you.
Right.
It's this one picture-in-picture window that it lets you change sources on to things that are hooked up. You don't know if it's every single camera. As he's going through it, you don't see much that looks like wild. There's nothing that like it changes to a camera view and you see like a bunch of cables and sparks. It all looks like pretty normal office shit, at least while he's going through it now. But based on your questions, that may change.
We're going to go, what should we be on the lookout for? Always, every time. What poses the biggest threat to us? And what's our best way in?
As you're going through, most of these don't seem particularly useful. It's a lot of empty office rooms. Some of them you do see people walking around. And then Ocean, you recognize the cafeteria in one of them. And right now it actually has a lot of people in it, more than you would usually see. You would see some pretty busy times, but it's pretty well staffed right now. Not staffed, used. No one staffs it. But something jumps out to you, Ocean, and you get him to stop as you recognize one of the views in the camera that pops up, that it looks like the outside hangar doors for the silent vehicles that are in the sub basement. And you get him to like stop there for a second, and then he starts going a little slower through some different views, and you get one view of the prep room for the silent, and they have people ready to go. They are on standby. You would recognize it, Ocean, as when you've already been given like commands for an operation and you know it's going to be in the next 4 hours, but there's not a set time. People are waiting for basically an alarm to go off and then for them to execute. They're already suited up, already got their weapons locked and loaded, ready to go. That is probably your biggest threat that you can see through this camera. For your best way in, still the only thing that like even makes sense to be able to enter this safely is that front lobby. Nothing else flashing through here gives any indication that there's like a window or an escape hatch or a AC exhaust, anything like that. The front door of the lobby seems to be the only place where you'll be able to get in. But what you do notice is nothing is showing stairs. So it seems like there is really no way to get through these floors besides that elevator.
One elevator.
Which corroborates your experience with it, at least. Ocean, you maybe didn't know that there were no stairs, but you always seem to ride the elevator everywhere you went. For what you should be on the lookout for, he just starts zooming through. It seems like it stops being useful stuff, but he's just kind of like holding the right arrow key and it's flashing through dozens and dozens of images like every couple seconds. For some reason, Book, you just get this feeling he should stop, and you reach out and grab his hand and he stops moving, and it stops on an image of a very desolate looking room with a single light shining down from the top. And Ocean, you would recognize that this looks a lot like the soundstage where you like dealt with the guy who was on the courtroom TV show.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Yeah. It looks, the holodeck room. It looks just like that. In Book, you recognize a person crumpled up on the floor, not moving. and it looks just like your good old daddy.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
His eyes are closed. He's facing the camera.
Uh-oh.
You can't really enhance, but it looks like he's moving a little bit, so he's at least breathing.
Uh-oh.
Book sees his dad in that state, and it reminds him of like one loose thread that's been kind of gnawing at the back of his head. And he gets up out of Randy Candy's office and he goes to Johnny Hertz.
At Johnny Hertz's Radio Shack. You got lucky, and he is between sets. Him and Crandall are inside, though. As you go up, the on-air sign is off, but him and Crandall look like they're just like lounging around, shooting the shit in the recording booth.
Am I inside now? I'm not inside yet.
You can go in.
Okay, I go in.
Hey, Book, how's it going?
That was Johnny, right? Not.
This is Johnny Hertz's voice. It's way different than Crandall. Not even close.
Hey, Johnny. Hey, Crandall. Crandall, do you think I could have a minute with Johnny?
You can have exactly 1 minute.
I'll need.
Just kidding. I don't give a shit. No, I'm coming back in like 3 hours.
All right. It's good to see you, Crandall.
He walks the door, and then he stops. Then he turns back to you and he goes, "Hey, Book, good luck."
Thanks, Crandall.
And he opens the door. And then he walks further. And then he opens the next door to go outside, and he stops and he goes, "Hey, Book,
Yeah, Crandall.
knock him dead."
Thanks, Crandall.
And then he closes that door and leaves.
Love Crandall. Book just sits next to Johnny Hertz. He doesn't say anything. And he waits to see if Johnny says anything.
It feels so much better in here since we got all of that crazy Boxcar Children bullshit out of here. So did we learn anything else about that flying suit? Did it come back down here?
Book doesn't answer, and he just continues staring unblinkingly at Johnny Hertz.
Is something wrong? Did you get some bad news? Hey, let me tell you, sometimes bad news is just the first step to learning something about yourself and being able to make your own good news. So that's how I approach pretty much anything. Anything I hear that I go, I don't like this hurts me. You can have those emotions and it's good, but you got to learn from it. You got to go, how did I end up in this state? Is it something I can control or not? And if I can control it, what can I do to be a person who won't experience this again? If you can't control it, you just got to get through those emotions, buddy.
Book kind of holds up a finger as in like, just give me a minute, you know? Like, stop fucking talking. And
it's really hard for him to do.
Yeah. And then he kind of leans forward, gets like really close to Johnny. Not uncomfortably close, but like close enough that like it's a little weird. It's a little tense. And then Book conducts a deep brain scan on Johnny Hertz using his robo eye.
Give me your roll.
Ooh, okay. That was a 6 and a 3 plus 3 is 12. And I have unlocked a weird XP, which has unlocked an improvement.
Yay.
Which was the whole reason I really wanted to do this.
Oh my God. Power leveling yourself before you leave.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to make it be something really bad.
Well, it was more of a convenience thing, but so Book gets a full success on his deep brain scan. All right, Stu, what Book wants to know about Johnny Hertz is what unfinished business does he have and with whom, and what is his deepest secret fear?
You peer into his eyes and he seems so confused and uncomfortable for quite a while. And then he just kind of like exhales and he's like, "Okay, Book, what do you want to know?"
You lied to me, Johnny.
You got to be more specific.
You lied to me about Hickory Fleek, maybe about the TTE. I don't know what else, but I know you've been lying.
You got to understand, Book. The most important thing is that my voice gets out there. People hear what I have to say, and I'll do anything to do that, to make it better, to get to more people. That's honestly it. That's all I care about. If Hickory's in charge and I can do that, that's fine for me. It gives me more cool shit to talk about. But if he's in a position where we don't have enough power, we're struggling here, and I can't do what I need to do, then I'm going to want some new blood in office. Someone like you guys who got us unlimited power and figured out ways that we can crank this thing up strong enough to reach the surface, which I've always wanted to do. There could be millions of people on the surface that are potential listeners. Think of the ad revenue.
I don't believe you.
What do you think I am? Some like secret robot man? You can go listen to everything I think every day. Put it out there on the waves. That's it. It's the real me. 100% Johnny Hurts and Crandall coming at you with the truth hurts.
Something's not adding up, Johnny.
Well, like lay out the equation for me. Give me the X's and the Y's and the Z's, or which one you don't have, and I will do my best to help you figure it out.
I don't know how you found out about the TTE, but I do know that Crandall had gotten it for the silent. I also don't know why you hated Hickory Fleek so much that you centered your show around disparaging him.
What else is there to talk about Hamlet opening? Honestly, if when you take care, he said if for a second and then replaced it with when. He goes, if when you take care of the tower, there's going to be way less stuff to talk about now too. And it's going to be rough. Like not much changes down here. There's not new things being built. There's not new societies being created. There's not many travelers coming and bringing us cool new ideas or new things. When Hickory was here, it was the easiest thing that everyone wanted to talk about. Honestly, you've made it a little too nice lately, and I'm really, really worried about if I'm going to be needed.
Okay, Johnny. So you didn't actually care about Hickory Fleek, but you haven't answered my question about the TTE. How did you know about it?
That was a little bit, I don't want to say nefarious, but that was a little bit non-legal, the methods I tracked down that it exists. I had heard about things like that before, but I did steal the specific schematics and location of it from Intaglio. So he never got it. And I have been a little worried that the tower may be upset at him for not executing his plan. And maybe that was my fault that they came to town and hunted everything up and all those sorts of things.
You stole from Intaglio the location of the TTE.
Yes.
Because
and the schematics.
Because Crandall got it for the tower, but he never gave it to them. So then they asked Intaglio to steal it from Crandall. And then
they asked him to get it one, and they knew a location of it one. They would have probably been happy with any of them. There's more than one TTE out there. I've only been able to find one in 14 years, so there's not an awful lot, but there is more than one out there.
And they came to Hamlet opening to get it back, you think?
They could have. I think it's very important for communication. Like, even these radio waves we have here, and he, like, turns on a TV behind him or is playing that ad on a loop, and he goes, like, these don't go through Stonewell. These are not going to get far. So maybe throughout Subtropolis, they got some good communication, but this can go way further, especially with all the infrastructure they have. They could communicate anywhere they wanted to.
And you promise that you haven't been in contact with the tower yourself.
No, I stay out of that. I do not want them to realize that I was involved. I'm hoping they think that I just found another one. The timing is a little suspicious, but yeah.
You swear?
Yes, I promise you. I promise on Crandall's life.
Good. Then come with me.
Come with you where?
I lead him to Randy Candy's office.
As you dramatically walk out, he keeps following you. He's like, wait, do I need the sombrero?
I don't say anything.
Shit, I'm going to bring it just in case. He grabs it, but he doesn't put it on. He just has it with him, and he's like holding it out in front of him like a plate of nachos. And then he skitters behind you. So you get back to your cave, and Randy Candy and Ocean are still just looking at cameras, trying to see if there's anything useful while they're waiting for you to get back.
Randy Candy, Johnny Hurts, this is important. Now that we have a way of accessing the other video cameras in the tower, we need a way of using that surveillance to our benefit while Ocean and I are there. Johnny, you have the only large communication system in Hamlet opening, and Randy Candy, you have the only means of monitoring those cameras. I need you both to work together to set up a monitoring station in Johnny Hertz's broadcasting station. As many monitors as you can find to show as many different pictures of what's going on in the tower. And Johnny,
I think we're gonna need some like big TVs so that picture in picture we can actually see.
Exactly, Johnny. I need you to find a way to communicate with us while we're in the tower using these. And Book from inside of Book's pocket, or from somewhere in his cave, I don't know. Book unveils his new improvement, which are the deep earplugs.
Deep earplugs. What?
Now, they protect the wearer from all brain picker moves and gear and from many other sources of psi harm. I thought that would be really useful because, Ocean, when you were in the tower, didn't they like have ways of like screaming into your brain and making you like, didn't
He's gotten psi harmed by the tower before, yes.
Yes.
So I'm using these to protect myself from psi harm, but I also thought it'd be really useful as or it could double as a way for Johnny Hertz to contact me while we're in there to give us intel from the cameras.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay, cool. I also get one other piece of new brain picker gear, and I think I'm going to unlock another small fancy weapon, which is hidden knives. And the reason I've picked this is because they're hidden. So when I'm in the tower, if they take away like my fancy pistol and my cane sword, I should still have the hidden knives. And so I think from the pile of booty that the Boxcar children gave me, I procure a small set of very fancy hidden knives.
Excellent.
And I think I hide them like somewhere in my weird new chest
cavity. Nice. Yes. We have like little magnets on them where they can just stick into random things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. With all of your final tasks wrapped up, are you ready to head to the tower?
I guess.
Yeah, Book's got his hidden knives. He's got his antique handgun. He's got his cane sword. He has his deep earplugs that Johnny Hertz is going to set up a frequency for him to get intel from and I guess communicate with them. Johnny, test 1 2. Johnny, test 1 2.
Johnny Hertz here, coming in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Johnny.
Excellent.
Ocean, I think we're a go.
All right. Let's do this.
No, you're not. You're not creeping yet. You're walking out of.
Ocean instead would like to get there the most roundabout way possible through the long dark to try and make it so they can intentionally get. It's intentionally difficult for them to find us.
Okay, so you don't want to go down the switchbacks. You want to go into the long dark and try to come out of like a.
Exactly. I want it to be as hard as possible for them to trace us back to where we're coming from.
You hop in the spider. It's been a long time since it's just been you two in the spider. I feel like there's always someone else. But you two roll into the long dark and you loop back around and you take the exact same path that a handful of years ago you and Book's dad took in the long dark to loop back down to the base level of Subtropolis, and you reach that same crack. So you go back down that crack where you were chased on dirt bikes and you reach Subtropolis. This has added a good chunk of time to your trip, definitely. So this is like an extra, I want to say 7 hours ish to do this big loopy and then walk down through this crack. But you reach the ground floor of Subtropolis and you can immediately see the tower stretching into the sky above you. Sky in quotation marks, you're underground. This time, as you approach the tower, there's none of that wonky magic bullshit where you can't track where it's at, or you lose sight of it, or it seems to just disappear. It remains steadfast in one location, pretty much always in view as you start winding your way down the few blocks between this crack and the tower. You end up reaching that large plaza that kind of surrounds it. Are you guys just walking across like you belong here and walking in the front door?
I mean, that was Ocean's strategy.
Yep.
You walk right across the plaza. You don't see anything else up the tower as you look up and you see the many, many floors just stretching up and up. There's some of those balconies that in the past you've seen like Silent On or maybe Wolves of the Maelstrom or different things. Right now, all looks empty. And as you get to the door, it is not locked like it was when you rescued Book from this lobby. It is wide open, and as you pull the door open, you see a room that is very familiar. You've been in here now multiple times, and you just recently saw it on a non-picture-in-picture camera screen. You see a large lobby set up with some tables. No longer does it have all of the medical equipment and stuff like that. And you see probably 24 random-ass people sitting around on benches. Some of them are like filling out papers for some reason. Like they got like a little packet of papers and they're trying to write on them, but there's like nothing to write on. So they're writing on their legs or the wall. And As you come in, you recognize the same man who was from the audition room the first time you met him, Ocean, right before you met the overseer of the tower. You see him at a large table with a bunch of pamphlets and pages set out, and he waves at you and he goes, "Hey, 2 more early people. Excellent. Yeah, just come on up here."
Ocean walks up to the guy, and Book is behind him, and he has Book in handcuffs. And he holds up the handcuffed Book's arm and says, "My name is Ocean. I have come with Book McCready."
Ocean, and he starts typing away on a keyboard. "Yeah, I thought you looked familiar. Wow, a return? That's crazy. We don't have many people who come to these open auditions when you already got a role. I gotta say it to you, probably not gonna get your old spot back. You can't just come in here and jump right back into it. That would be nice. Like, yeah, I'm sure you did a great job, but I think you burnt some bridges as you're walking out. But these are open auditions. They are open to anyone. So you put your nose to the grindstone, come in here, do a great job today. That's probably the most important thing. Do a great job. And then you can work your way back up to where you were before, maybe even higher.
That's my hope.
Like, look at me. I used to just type things. Now I have to do this.
I thought I recognized you. You're the guy that took our that we signed in with so many years back.
Yeah, you and Caravan.
Yeah.
Book in his head is like, Kara's name is Caravan?
We don't need him in these handcuffs though. That's fine. He's safe in the tower, and he reaches forward and grabs something from his pocket and just undoes your handcuffs, and they click down to the ground. He has a little, looks like a handcuff key that somehow fit yours. And he goes, "You'll be safe in here. Don't worry." And I think he's smarter than trying to run. So is this like a...
Book immediately tries to run.
Ocean reaches back and grabs him by the scruff. Says, "You're not going anywhere, prisoner. You're my way back in here." And he drags him back.
So is he like the talent more? Do you think he's got a better shot than you do? We can do a paired audition. That's kind of like you and Kara when you came in here. Is this new Kara?
He's not a new Kara, but he's pretty smart and good with computers. Figured we could use a guy like
Book
him.
at good with computers. Book he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm good with computers." He's not good with computers.
Don't know how that'll translate to acting, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, just fill out these forms, get all your info down. If he doesn't want to fill out the forms, you can fill them out for him. No big deal.
Meanwhile, Ocean's the one who can't fucking read.
Very well timed. As Ocean reaches out and grabs the pen, it feels like there's this little spark in your finger, and all of your memories of the tower come rushing back. So you've already had a lot of flashbacks that covered a bunch of key important events, but everything filling in those gaps is now here. You remember dozens of excursions with the Yellow Humvee people. You remember monotonous days sitting around doing nothing, cleaning your weapons. You remember getting lunch hundreds of times in the cafeteria. All just comes flooding back into your brain. Also, when you look down at the paper that you're supposed to fill out, you had gotten pretty good. Book had taught you a good amount of letters and words, but there are some long ones on here, and you recognize all of those words. You can just read at least as well as you could back when you were employed by the tower.
Oh shit. Ocean kind of jumps a little bit, and then he nudges Book. "Book, does this say liability?"
He's done it. It does. It does mean liability.
"I can read.
You can read.
I can read." I'm assuming the guys are starting to get a little bit worried.
Yeah, he's so confused. He's looking with his eyes wide and jumping between you two. I know he could read before.
It's no big deal.
Has he been pulling a con on his prisoner this whole time?
It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. I think I must have hit my head pretty hard at some point, but it's fine now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just take us to where we need to be.
That is very fun, from him being your prisoner to you guys jumping up and down excited with each other.
Exactly.
He points you over towards a big long bench where you see some other people sitting around filling out these forms. The form itself is not important. There's nothing crazy on it. It's name, address, which you can fake if you want to. I'm guessing you do.
Yeah. For address, book puts up yours.
Okay. So you are hostilely filling out the form.
No. Wait, I guess he wouldn't do that because he's trying to infiltrate. Okay. For For the address, he puts the Crandall's old.
Okay, Crandall's Tower.
Crandall's Tower.
Yep, one of the only addresses you know.
Yep.
Then it's got some basic demographic information. It has stuff on allergies. It has things on any known medication you take. It has waivers for any history of seizures or drug use or agreements with SAG or any other guilds or unions. But I guess the most interesting thing on it is there's the back page kind of maps out the process that they expect you to go on. So there's a little star at the bottom that says you are here. And then there's a clearly cartoon version of like the elevator with some different spots on it. And it shows an arrow coming up and they're like numbered the kind of order you go along with. And the first stop up on the elevator, it says genre selection. And then the second stop, it says green room. And then there's a third, fourth, and fifth stop that say audition 1, audition 2, audition 3. And then there's one all the way at the top that has a big question mark with like confetti signs around it and stuff like that. So you guys fully understand the process based on this cartoon.
Okay, Book wants to kind of activate his little ear pluggies. And he says to Johnny Hertz, Johnny, I need to know what genre my dad selected. Which genre's green room he's in. Wait, you said he was in a green room, right?
No, he was in a soundstage.
Fuck, whatever. But yeah, I still need to know that information.
I'll watch him and let you know if I can tell what he's acting around in. Where he's still just laying there, sleeping, sound as a baby. Okay, so do you guys fill out the forms with varying levels of accuracy and meanness and just turn them back in?
Yep.
You wait an annoying amount of time. Not much happens in here. A couple more people come in and they go through the same rigmarole as you do. They get some forms, they go fill them out, and they sit and wait. And then 2 hours later, the first change of anything happens when the elevator dings and the doors open and the man who was running the table stands up and he goes, okay, we have a mic and a sawtooth. You may go up. And 2 people stand up, walk into the elevators, and it closes and it starts going up. Doop, 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 disappears. Nothing else for like another 45 minutes before it dings again. Doors open and he stands up and he says, we have a book and ocean. You may head on up. And there's a bunch of people who see you get called and they get frustrated because they've been here for like a day.
Oh.
All right,
But the elevator remains open and waiting.
let's do this.
Yeah, we go in.
And Ocean walks in.
Ocean, you've been here many times in this elevator. Probably hundreds of times in this elevator. Right now, none of the buttons are active like they normally are. Normally, there's that big range of buttons. There's normally that big book that tells you where everything is. Those things aren't in here right now, the big directory. But there is one thing lit up that says genre selection right now. And the doors start closing and it starts heading up.
Is there an emergency stop button in the elevator?
Yes. You don't know if it works.
Okay. Just keeping that in the back pocket.
It has to meet code. Book, give me a read a citral.
All right.
As the elevator starts going up.
All right.
It's a situation where you may only need one. And there's not a lot you can learn in this room.
Disagree, Stu. You don't know what question I'm about to ask. Okay. Ooh. 7 + 3 is 10.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
You may
boy.
ask me 3 questions.
All right. We're going to do a what should I be on the lookout for? Who or what poses the biggest threat to me? And what represents the best opportunity for us to find my dad?
Your biggest threat seems like you have just stepped into a situation where you have no control. You're in this elevator now. There's no obvious way to get in or out. These buttons are moving by themselves. You're in the heart of the tower. I think that is by far your biggest threat right now. In addition to that, you hear some static in your ear, and it seems like maybe your communications have stopped working while you're at the core of this building at least.
Yeah, elevators tend to do that.
Okay, as you turn it down to try to make the static just be barely above the ever-present static of the psychic maelstrom you always feel in your brain, you start picking out some strange, like barely above whisper words that are being sung behind the elevator music that's going on right now. And it's like really quiet, like Tom's Diner type whisper singing that you can barely hear.
Interesting.
And it says, and I forgot the tune of elevator music I do, so I may have to retake this later, and it says, stand perfectly still. Stand still it's like really, really quiet. The music of the elevator is clearly louder than the vocals coming through.
The vocals are being played through the elevator.
Seems like it's coming through the same exact thing. Yeah.
Oh, Ocean, don't move.
Yeah, Ocean keeps completely still.
Okay, you guys do that. You keep feeling yourselves move up and up and up. And then it seems like it starts slowing down. Like you're used to this like regular ding, ding as it's passing floors. And then you notice that ding gets a little longer. It's like ding, ding.
Does Ocean remember the elevator taking this long to go up?
No, it is definitely taking longer. And then you hear a knocking on the top and a big hydraulic sound. And the hatch pops open at the top.
The top of the elevator?
Yes.
Like not at the door.
No, not at the door. At the top of the elevator, like in a movie where they have elevator hatches on the top.
Interesting.
Weird.
And then you hear the music change to come up here, come up here, quick, quick. Come on, much faster. Come on, come on.
Book like clambers up Ocean.
All right. Ocean climbs up.
Okay, so Book, you're going first. You're
Yeah,
climbing
Book
up
like
Ocean. and he
clambers
gives you
up
upsies.
Ocean, and then climbs up, and then sticks a hand down, and then thinks better of it and puts both of his hands down to help Ocean up.
Yeah, Ocean climbs on up.
Yeah, as you start pulling him up, he's a heavy boy. And I was about to make you roll something to make sure you do this without like dropping him and it plunking the elevator or anything like that, because you are like right outside something right now. But as you're reaching down with both your hands and pulling him up, suddenly it gets way easier to pull him. And you realize there's someone literally reaching over the top of you and grabbed Ocean by the scruff of his jacket and pulls you both on top of each other, and you fall down to the floor. And you see in sweaty, ripped off sleeves, looks like John McClane at the end of Die Hard. It's like that nice, sexy, greasy, sweaty look.
Hell yeah.
You see Spade.
No way.
Spade.
No way.
Oh, shit.
We don't have much time. And I have so much to tell you. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Oops, All Apocalypses. If you enjoy our show, make sure you try to trick other people into listening to it. I'd recommend going in public with headphones on and just laughing randomly, and then turning to the nearest person to you and going, sorry, this podcast is so funny. Find links to it at stew.cool/listen. The music and editing was performed by Stu Masterson. Brady McDonough makes all the art and the logo. And Jacob somehow turns our regular M&Ms into peanut M&Ms, but we're not really quite sure how. Love you, bye. I'm just saying Eminem should know better, because like in other songs he uses sound effects super well, especially like his funny songs, like that fart and just lose it.